Hello everyone, welcome to Infra Experts. Today's topic is how to upgrade grid as well as your RAC database from 12.01 to 19C, and this will be done in silent method. My previous video of upgrading your RAC infrastructure, grid infrastructure and RAC database was in with DBUA, which is GUI based. But here we will be proceeding with silent method, and we'll see how to upgrade your grid infrastructure. You should opt for silent method only when you have restricted access, for which you won't be able to display your xlog or bring the Oracle Universal Installer to the front. But if you are having the option of GUI based, I would recommend to go for GUI based, because in silent method you will be able to learn much stuffs, but it will be very much tiresome, which is not the same for your GUI based. So let us proceed. In here, similarly like DBUA, here also we are assuming that our patch 28553832 has been applied to the Oracle 12c Home. Next, what we need to do, we need to download and unzip the grid software on first node only. So let us do it, and let us copy it in here. So let us go to our node 1. So this is my node 1, which is Jack. As you know, I am using for each and every my RAC videos, I am using Jack as the first node and Jill as the second node. So this is the node. First of all, let me show you my database in here. So srvctl status database -d infra. Show you the configuration. So as you can see in here, this is in 12c. Don't worry about the path, it was done by mistake in this path. This is the Oracle Home, and these you can get it from here. The user, the sv file where it is located, the password file, start options, everything you can get it from here. Now let me log into the database and check the version. So this is 12.01. Now let me go to grid home. So let us run the crctl stat res-t and check everything from here. So as you can see, ASM listener is running from both nodes. The data, everything is fine. Scan listeners is running from one is running from Jack from Jill, and two are running from Jack. ASM is running from both nodes. Database is running from both nodes. Management DB is running from Jack, and that's it. Now I need to check the version of my CRS. So this is my active version, and let me check the software version too. So this is my software version. So let us proceed now. What is the step? I need to copy this. So let me go and copy the, let me see how much space is there. 40 GB of space is there. I need at least 33 GB of free space in this mount point, in both mount points, to proceed for my grid home's mount point. So it is currently there. Let me move to here, and this has been moved, and let me unzip it. So this is unzipped. Remember one thing, before proceeding with your 19C upgrade, you should always check what is the kernel version, means whether the kernel parameters have been set properly or not, whether the RPMs are updated or not, and whether the OS is minimum RHEL 7 or not. These things needs to be checked. I'm not providing these things in each and every videos. So you should check these before you proceed. So let us proceed with our next step. So next step is what? Prepare the response file. So where is the response file? So in here I have the response file. Let me just copy it first. Copy it and keep it in U01 software. And let me edit the changes in here. So I have these entries here. Also I have kept the same in my notepad. So let me open the notepad for copying properly. So the first thing is the response file version. So response file version is already present. Next is inventory location. Let me keep the inventory location as this. And the install option should be upgrade the grid base. Let me keep this as, so this all we can keep as O install, or it will take it by default. In here let me keep this as local scan. Then comes cluster configuration. CRS config cluster configuration. Next is extended cluster. Configure as extended cluster? No, false. I also need to give the cluster name, right? So CRS config cluster name. This should be CRS prod. Then configure GNS. This should be false. Cluster node VIP. Auto configure. This one also false. The GNS option, let me put create new GNS. Well, you would be thinking that how come I am getting, means I know that these options needs to be given. To be very frank, I tried with the GBUA, the GUI method, and I saved the response file. From there only I am copying it. Or else these many are not needed actually, but to be on the safer side, I am taking everything. Next, cluster nodes. These are Jack and Jill. So these two nodes will be there, right? Next is configure GIMR. That's true. Then configure GIMR data.dg. That's false. So for grid infrastructure management, I won't be having a separate disk group. I will be going ahead with Flex ASM storage. IPMI, I won't be intelligent power management interface, I won't be using it. So this one also I need to give false. The disk group name I am giving as data. SysASM password and all those will be taken as default. So I am giving the disk group name as data. And redundancy, it will be taken on its own. I need to give the AU size. AU size is 0. Disk group AU size is 0. And GIMR AU size will be, allocation unit size will be 1. Next is configure AFD, that is false. I do not want AFD to be configured. Okay. Then configure RHPS, Rapid Home Provisioning Service, false. Then ignore downloads, false. Configure management option, none. OMS port is 0. And I will be executing the root script on my own. So I need to give this as false. To execute the root script manually, to execute the root script automatically by using the appropriate configuration methods, so I will be going ahead with manually running it. So I gave this as false. So I am done with my response file. Now, what's the next step? Once the response file is created, let me run the cluster verification utility. So this is it. Let me copy it here first for my own good. So in here, what I need to do is everything fine. My source CRS home is this, cluster home is this, my destination home is this. So this is fine. And as you all know, I'll be getting some errors like my RAM utilization is low, my chronic NTB configuration, for that also I will be getting some errors. So I need to omit them, ignore them. So I run the cluster verification utility. I'll pause the video. So it is not running. So why is it so? Let me check it. Okay, as you can see, unexpected symbol this. I hope this will be running now. And yes, it is running right now. So I'll pause the video until my cluster verification utility completes. So my cluster verification utility has been processed, and as I said, it failed for my physical memory because my total memory allocated for my RAM for my laptop is 16 GB, and if I give 16 GB to this, then where will my laptop, my own OS run? So I just gave 6 GB for each nodes. That's why this is failing, and NTB and all this will be failing because this is my test box. In your production environment, you should see that none of these are failing. So let us proceed now with the next step. Next step is we need to run the dry run. So on first node, we need to run the dry run for a new node, and then we need to, this will be copying the software to the second node before we actually do the and after this only we will be doing the upgrade. But as I said in my previous video, here also I am repeating the same thing, that there is a bug in this dry run for upgrade, because of which the permissions of my root script will be changing, which we need to again change to Oracle O install from root O install. So let me run this. So this is the script, and I have kept it in U01 software, right? And in here you can see that I am giving the ignore prerequisite failure. If I am not giving it, it will just fail. So let us run this and see if we are getting some errors or not. So currently this is running. Let's get some output. So this is launching the Oracle Grid Infrastructure Setup Wizard. So you can see in here that currently my DB upgrade is running. Previously it failed twice because I gave a wrong directory whose permission was root. That's why it was failing. So I changed those in my response file, and currently this is running, and if you can check it from this log. So let me just check it from here. So it will be running. I will pause the video until this is done. So as you can see in here, the dry run for upgrade has been completed, and from here you can see the log. I had placed the log open, kept the log open. You can see from the log what all things it did. So if I go, it is setting the variables. It has copied the files to the remote node, which is Jill, and then it configured Oracle Grid over there. So this is just a dry run upgrade, and you can see the prerequisites has been ignored. Adding exit status successful with warnings, because my physical memory, which is less, and also the NTP issue is there. because of this, it completed with warnings, which you can see from here also. Successfully set up software with warnings. And now what it is saying, you can find the log in here. As a root user, execute the following scripts. Execute grid upgrade on the following nodes. Since this is a dry run upgrade, it is asking to execute this only from node 1, from the node I have fired this dry run for upgrade. So let me log in as root from here and run this. So this is the log. Let me open the log in here. So it is relinking Oracle with RAC on option, and this is running still. So this will also take some time to complete. I will pause the video until this is completed. So you can see from here, checking whether CRS entities are ready for upgrade. Cluster upgrade will not be attempted now. So since this is a dry run upgrade, we are getting this message in here. So you can see here the CRS entities validation completed successfully. So my root.sh script has been run. Now what I need to check, this is my dry run upgrade is complete right now. Now what I need to check is, I need to see whether the permissions have changed or not for my root.config. Yes, you can see here the root config.sh permission changed to root o install. So I need to change this permission to Oracle o install. This is a bug. So sorry, my bad. I need to do this from root user. I didn't see that I was logged in Oracle user. So this is done. Now let us go ahead with our next step. Now next step is run the actual run of my grids upgrade. So let me copy it first and make changes in my notepad. So what is my CRS config? Means response file. This is my response file, right? Let me take this. That's it. And let's run this. I've ignored the prerequisite failures and the response file is there. This one means in here dry run for upgrade was there. I have omitted that and started my upgrade. So it is right now, it is launching the grid infrastructure setup wizard, after which the log files will be generated and we will come to know what is the log file for the current session. So you can see in here that my grid setup completed. If you check the log, let me check the log once. You don't assume that it completed fully. We need to run the root execution.sh, root script.sh, which will actually make the changes in here. So let me run the root script.sh in both nodes. From here what you can see, some of the mandatory prerequisites are not met. You can see from here, or the response file is this, and from installation manual find the appropriate configuration to meet the prerequisites and fix it manually. As a root user, execute the following scripts, and you can see here that nodes are Jack and Jill. Previously during our dry run upgrade, what was the node? It was only Jack. So right now it is Jack and Jill. From both nodes I need to run, and after run the script on the local node first. So since this is the local node from where I ran the upgrade, so I need to run this from here at first. After successful completion, you can start the script in parallel on all other nodes except a node you designate as the last node. So when all the nodes except the last node are done successfully, run the script on the last node. So just assume there are 5 nodes. So from this is the since this is the first node, and I ran the script from here, means the grid upgrade script from here. So at first the root upgrade.sh script needs to be run from here. Once it is complete, 2, 3 and 4, let me take it in a number wise pattern. 2, 3 and 4, these three nodes can be run, this root upgrade.sh script can be run parallelly, but don't touch the fifth node, which is the last node. Once the second, third and fourth nodes are root upgrade.sh script is completed in these three nodes, then touch the last node, which is the fifth node. So that is what it is explaining in here. And once this is complete, as install user, execute the following command to complete the configuration. So let me first run this from my local node, which is Jack. So this is running right now, and as you can see here, this is the log which is generating. So it is executing the third step. Like this, 18 steps will be performed in here. I will pause the video until all the steps are completed. So you can see from here that this is a rolling upgrade. As you can see here, successfully patched Oracle Trace and a file analyzer. At this stage of upgrade, the OCR has changed. Any attempt to downgrade the cluster after this point will require a complete cluster outage to restore the OCR. So all nodes that have been upgraded must be downgraded. So this is a rolling upgrade, and you can see from here that my management DB, which was running from this node, has moved out to my Jill node right now. Also, as you can see here, setting cluster, Oracle clusterware and ASM to rolling migration mode. Running command, start rolling upgrade. The cluster was successfully set to rolling upgrade mode, and now it is running the ASM CA silent upgrade command. So you can see configure of Oracle grid infrastructure for a cluster completed successfully, and it came out. Let me check. So these are all running from 19C. ASM1 and Infra1. So ASM1 will be running from 19C. So this is done in this node. Now I need to fire the same command from my last node, since this is a 2-node database. Let me log in here as root and run this. Well, it's not copied. Let me copy it once more. So take this, and this has started running from my node 2, or the last node, which is Jill. I will again pause the video until this upgrade completes. So you can see from here that my node 2 is also done. So all are running from 19C. Now my next thing is I need to run this script as install user. So let's run this. Well, my server rebooted actually after, but I was able to complete my session, means this was run properly. I can show you the logs. Where will I find the logs? In my Aura inventory logs. In here I will get in the logs, and from the logs, if you check this log, you can see that grid infrastructure 19C installer has been shut down. When successfully executed the flow in silent mode, everything has been done. Now we can see that the management DB and everything is running properly, and this is, do not worry about this. This is the ASM proxy instance. You can browse it. Means what is ASM proxy instance? This is for ASM flex. Since this is a flex storage, that's why ASM proxy instance has come to the picture. Now let me see first pwdx, and the process is 10501 for my management DB. So it is running from 19C grid. And let me see my CRS version. Let me see this one also, ASM 9292. And what about proxy instance 10171, right? Okay, let me go to my grid home, CRS-CTL query, CRS active version. So this is 19, and let me check the software version also. This is also 19. So we are done with our grid upgrade. Now meanwhile, I will tell you one more thing. If this management database doesn't come up on its own, for me it came up this time. Previously, once during my practice, what I did, I missed to run this script. So because of this, what happened? Everything was done, but my management database was still running in 12C. And what I had to do is, I had to manually start the management database in 19C. In some places, it might also happen that the pre-upgrade steps might fail, because of which your management DB doesn't start up. So I'll just show you the steps in here, what you can do for that. To bring the management DB online, if failed to run the pre-upgrade patch before starting upgrade procedure, management database will be disabled state after upgrade. So what you need to do, you need to start the database management DB, and then you need to remove the RHP server. As you can see in here, you need to drop the RHP service that was created during the root upgrade process. Now that the RHP server service has been removed, we need to remove the management DB which is running in 12.2. So export path, the Oracle, the grid 12C home, then stop resource ora.crf.init -init. So, and then modify to enabled equals to 0. Now when this is done, this same thing needs to be processed for both users, with both nodes, with your root user. And once this is done, as Oracle user on node 1, stop your management database and management listener. Once this is done, you need to silently delete your database from 12C. So this is the process, it is deleting the database. When this is done, from your ASM CMD, you can go to management DB and check whether any files are there or not. So if there are any files, please delete it and proceed with the next step. So once this is deleted, from here, means you need to download this mdbutil.pl from this doc 2065.175.1. From this doc you need to download it and then run this script .mdbutil -add mdb - target in this location. It will be in this group -debug. So it will be showing here, and it will take around an hour or so to complete. Once this run is complete, from both nodes as root user, modify this enabled equals to 1, and then start ora.crf from both nodes, and like this your database will be up, management database will be up. So now here we are done with upgrading our grid infrastructure till now. Once your grid infrastructure is done, what is left? We are left with our database. So before going for database, we need to detach the old home and verify the inventory. So from first node we need to do this. So if you go in here, you can see here that my grid infrastructure 12c home, database 12c home and 19c infrastructure is there. Grid infrastructure is there. I need to detach the old home from my inventory. So this is the command. Let me put it in a notepad first. So this is the grid home OUI bin run installer -detach home in silent method, and the Oracle home being this. So let me run this, and this needs to be run from my first node only. So this is running right now, and this might also take a while to complete. So the detach home was successful, and you can see from here this is removed. Removed equals to true. Previously it was like this. Now it is removed equals to true. One more field has been added over here. Let me check from node 2, which is Jill. Well, it was, I had to run this from, I need to run this from both nodes. Let me go in here. So this is removed. Now let's reboot my both nodes. So let me reboot this first. And then followed by this. I am pausing the video until my servers are back up. So my server has rebooted both my nodes, and currently everything is up. Now let us proceed with our next step. This one I can remove it from here. Next step, unzipping the 19c DB software and then run the silent installation of DB software with response file. So let me proceed with this. So do I have my DB file over here? DB software? Yes, I do have. So I need to move it, right? Let me move it. U01 app Oracle, then product, then 19c, okay, and then DB1, okay. Let me copy it in here. So it is copied. Let me go to that directory and unzip this. So I have unzipped it in here. Let me just remove this first because it consumes lots of space. And then what do I need to do? I need to run the installation of the DB software with this response file. So this is what I need to, let me copy it and paste it in here. Now let me go to the response file. Let me copy this DB install to here. Okay, and let me just minimize it. So the first thing it is there. Then next is Oracle install option. So this one I need to take install DB software only. The Unix group name being oinstall. So after this comes the inventory location. So this is the inventory location. Let me give the inventory location in here. And then I need to give the Oracle home. Well, this is not present in here, so I need to mention it separately. Oracle home will be 19c_db_1. So after my Oracle home, I need to give my Oracle base. Which installer edition you need to use? I will be using Enterprise edition. And then the groups, the OS, every group will be O install. OS DBA group, then OS Opar group, then OS backup DBA group, then this group. Root script execution, this should be false because I will be executing it manually. Then since that is false, I can omit this and then straight away go to grid options where the cluster nodes will be Jack, Jill, and it should be general purpose database, right? Let me copy it from here. Then global DB name, let me no need of putting this, and container DB, this is not a CDB or PDB, so this is false. Then memory option, this is also false. I do not need these example schemas to be created. These passwords, since I'm upgrading it, these passwords are not necessary. And the starter DB management option, this I'm keeping it as default. OMS port is 0 and enable recovery is false. So we are done. Now I need to run this database, right? Database upgrade. I need to first install it. Install the 19C binaries. Then comes database upgrade. So let me run this file, and in here the response file will be different, right? Name db_install.rsp, and let me ignore the prerequisites and wait for completion, and in silent method I will be running this. So let me start it. So these things you need to troubleshoot. See, you can see in here that the given response file is not valid. Well, at first I was thinking, why is it not valid? What should be the reason? I'm not getting anything in here. Syntactically incorrect response file, either unexpected variables are specified or expected variables are not specified in the response file. Refer the latest product file template. I was not able to find. At last I saw that here I did some typos. Memory option equals to false, but somehow it came in here. That's why my run installer failed. So currently this has started running, and let me wait for it to complete. I will pause the video until this installation is completed. So my installer has completed, and now I need to run the root.sh from both nodes. So let me run it from here first, from Jack. So this is completed in Jack. Let me run the same from Jill, which is node 2. So this is done from node 2 also. Now let us proceed with the next steps. We need to run the pre-upgrade utility first and check whether everything is fine or not. So let me run the pre-upgrade utility, and this is fine. So let me run this. So let me set up the environment first and then run the pre-upgrade utility. The 12C environment was set, and let me run the pre-upgrade utility. There's some issue I'm facing, right? Well, this is because of my environment file. The environment file which was created was not proper. Let me open a new window again and then run this. Now let me see whether this is running or not. So right now this is not scolding me at all. So I believe this will be running, and this will take some time for it to run. I will pause the video until I get the output for this. So my pre-upgrade log is generated, and in here you can see I will just copy these. These are not needed. The things which are needed, I am copying them. Before upgrade till after upgrade, let me copy them first. Till here I am copying it and placing it in here. Now let me see from here. So after copying this, let me review and remove any. So let us see the recommended actions. It is asking for the IPTDD enable. This underscore parameter needs to be removed. But the problem is I'm not having this parameter in here itself. So let me just ignore it for the time being. And then let me proceed with this. Sys enabling the space. So let me first check the size. Alter, my bad, select file name. Let me from DBA data files. Select name from DBA name files. So these are the one. Let me copy it and paste it in here. So sysoc system undo one is needed, right? Then temp. And I need to resize the data file. Resize to, this is system 1, right? System is 950 MB. Let me put. And then this. For my sysoc it is 600 MB. For my undo it is 450 MB. And for temp file it is 150 MB. Let me run this one by one. Run these at the same time. So all are done. Now let me go back to in here. I can omit this and then run the pre-upgrade fixup.sql. So this is running right now, and which it will be taking care of the auto fixups right now. So the pre-upgrade has been run. Now let me proceed with the next step. So if I go like this with my document, copy the DBS and network files from old home to new home. So let me copy this first. Let me keep it in here. Then it will be easier for me to do rather than what. So let me see from which home it is running right now. Before that, let me stop the instance. So my database has been stopped. Now I need to do this in both the servers. Let me do the same in here also in Jill. This is done. Now let me do the same for DNS names.ora also. So it is omitting the directories, samples directory. Let me see whether it has copied anything or not. So these are, let me see the DNS names.ora. Okay, nothing needs to be changed in here. Let me do the same thing in here also. Now from ASM CMD, I need to copy this and put it in here, right? DB1, then DBS should be this. There's some issue, or I do not need to do this. let me just create a P file from SP file first. Okay, so I had to start the database to create this, because since the database was down, that's why it was trying to get it couldn't communicate with the ASM instance, and it was searching from Oracle Home DBS. So let me see now if the file is present or not. So this file has been created right now, and now I need to copy this to my 19C home, right? And let me make the changes in here. Let me stop the database also. So once the database is stopped, I need to make the changes in the P file with the Oracle 19C location, and also I will be making the cluster database equals to false. This means that I will be starting the database from one node only. So this is stop. Let me take this and paste it in here, Oracle base. I need to make this dump file. Let me see whether it is, how much it is there or not. So let me go to here, and here, in here tag is there. Let me create this in here, mkdir, then this, right? I'm keeping the database also open as of now. And here also I need to make the entries. And this will be in 19C base, right? Okay, I need to copy it again. Let me copy full. The database is started meanwhile. So this is done. Now let me go back to my P file, and let me copy this and paste it in here in the audit file. Let me make the cluster database equals to false. Compatible parameter you can change now, or you can change afterwards. I will change it afterwards if needed, and that is not a big deal to change. Let me change the diagnostic test. So that's it. Now let's see what's the next step. The next step is we need to enable RAC on new home. So in 19C home. So I am in Oracle CD 19C home, then RDBMS lib. I am in here RDBMS lib, and let me fire this command. So this is done. Then fire this. So this is running right now. So this is done from node 1. Ideally it should not run from node 2, but let me still try if it is running or not. This should not run. See, no such file or directory. Let me run the second. This should also won't be running. So we are good with this. Now once this is done, next step is shut down the Oracle, shut down the database and remove the database. So once this is shut down, I need to remove the database. Let me remove the database from this home. So this is removed. Next, from my 19C home, I need to start up upgrade. So let me open one more tab in here, terminal. Let me modify the entries. Okay, let me see whether it got created or not. So this got created. Now let me open the database in startup upgrade mode. Okay, so this is starting up the database. So this is started and it took the P file to start. Okay, then either I can run through catctl like this or with the shorthand command this. I'll be using db upgrade, the shorthand command, to execute this. So this is in here and let me fire it. Also, some things which you need to take care, I have not mentioned in here or my document, that okay, let me fire it. Those listener logs, if there are any TNS entries, those needs to be modified accordingly. So you can see in here the number of CPUs is 2, the database name is infra, the database version is this, and now it is checking every part and it will be running this upgrade. So I'll pause the video until the upgrade is complete. Meanwhile, once the upgrade is running, still it is running in phase 0, I just checked whether the hidden parameter is there or not. So it is not there. So we are done with the database upgrade and it completed successfully. The total time it took is 1 hour 11 minutes. Since this is my home setup, that's why it took much more time. Probably with nothing in your system, it might take a bit lesser time also. Now, next what we need to do, we need to check this. After upgrade, we need to upgrade the database time zone. So let us shut down the database. Let me see whether it is running or not right now. So this is not running. So I need to start up the database in upgrade mode. Okay. After which I'll be running this command. Then we'll shut it down and start the database and do the actual upgrade, which is this for my time zone. Before that, let me see the value of the time zone right now. So this is 26 and I need to make it 32. So let me run this. Once this is done, I need to shut down the database and start it up in normal mode. So you can see an upgrade window has been successfully started and the TZ version being 32. Now let me shut it down. Now since this is shut down, let me start it up again in normal mode. Now my database has been started. Then let me do the upgrade. So this is running. So the script has executed successfully. Now let me check the time zone value. Let me run 2 commands to check it. My bad. I'm copying. Select star from v dollar time zone underscore file. So this is 32. Now let me check one more with one more command. From here also you can see that it is 32. So we are done with the time zone upgrade. Next is if there are any symlink or not. So let me run this. I do not have any symlinks present in here. Let me run this. So no directory objects with symlinks has been found. So I'm fine with this also. Next, execute dbastats gather will be taken care by my pre-upgrade, but not this one. This is not in the post-upgrade script. The other one will be taken care by the post-upgrade. So once this is run, I need to run this to complete my post-upgrade fix-up. And also, once this is done, I need to run the utilrp or else the component registry that you can see as status as upgraded also there will be lots of invalid objects present in your database. So we do have lots of things still left, and right now the database is a standalone database which is running. I need to make it as a cluster database also. So we are still left with many things. I'll pause the video until the stats gather is completed. So now the stats gather has been completed. Now let me run the post upgrade fixer. So this might also take a bit time since it will also run a stats gather. I'll pause the video until this is done. So this has run, and you can see in here the source database was 12.2.01 and the upgrade version is 19.0. So what is the next step we need to follow? Next step is, let's first see from our DB registry whether the status is in upgrade mode or valid mode. So you can see the status is in upgraded, and let me see the invalid counts. The invalid counts will also be near about more than 2000, or it might be 2532 also. It is 2265. So what I need to do? I need to run utilrp. So utilrp, which is in Oracle Home RDBMS admin. So this will take some time to complete because there are more than 2000 invalid objects present. So I'll pause the video until this is done. So the utility script completed. Now let me check the invalid count and the registry status. So the invalid count has become 0 and the component status from DBA registry, the status will be valid right now. So you can see the status as valid. Okay. Now still the database is running in just a single node. So what do I need to do? I need to first set the cluster as true, cluster database as true. So this is taken from here, and now let me shut down the database. So the instance has been shut down. Now the next step is I need to move the SP file in here. ASM, let me do pwd asm cmd. Now I need to copy this to here, right? Let me go. Let me check. And in here infra, let me remove this first. Okay, so this has been removed from here. Now what do I need to do? I need to copy this SP file to here. Okay, so this is done. So since now it is there, next thing what I need to do is I need to remove the SP file from the Oracle Home DBS, because at first while starting the database it will always take the sp file.ora which is present in your Oracle Home DBS in the local path. So this is done, and let me remove this too. Okay, now the next step is to add this one, right? A service CTL, this one. So my SP file data infra parameter file, it is. So now I will be adding the database to the CRS home for new home. So the command is servicetl add database hyphen database name d infra, then the Oracle home which is this, and then the parameter file which is this, and which role it should start, which is primary. So let me start this, add this database. Once it is added, I need to add each and every instance to it. So this is done. So my next step would be add the instance for each and every node. So in my first node, which is Jack, the instance name will be infra1. Let me add it. The servicetl add instance, then database name, then the instance name, and then the node name. And once that is done, I need to add Jill also. So this is done. Now I need to detach the 12c home. So before detaching the 12 home, I will check. So this is done. Use 01 app Oracle inventory, then contents.xml, then here. So this is the location which needs to be removed. And as I mentioned here, detach from first node only. Probably we need to remove from both the nodes. We will be checking it. First of all, let's remove from this node. Currently it is getting removed. Let me start the database. So my database has been started. Let me check the status, whether it has started from both the nodes or not. Well, my system is pretty slow. So this is running from both the nodes. Let me check the configuration. So you can see that the database has started from 19C Oracle Home. It took this password file itself, the SP file itself. The start options and everything is mentioned in here. I'm running this again. Probably there was a space because of which the Detach Home failed. I hope this will be running. There was a space in Oracle Home equals to, as you can see in here. Because of this space, probably it had failed. So right now you can see that the Detach Home is successful. Now let me check the inventory. In inventory also, Oracle DB12C, this is removed. I am sure that it's not been removed from here. So if it is not removed, I need to run the same from here also. So u01 app Oracle inventory, then contents.xml. So this is not removed from here. I need to remove it manually from here also. Let me run this. See, you can see here the detach home failed. Why? Because I am having a space in here. Now this will be running. Fine. So you can see that the detach home is successful from here also. And this is removed. So this and everything is right now in this exercise. Currently, let us check also once more. So the grid home is not set. U01 app 19C grid, then bin. Okay. CRCTL stat res-t. So from here you can see everything is running fine now. This is not needed. Or listener is running from both nodes. Net 1 is running from both nodes. ONS is running from both nodes. ASM net listener is running from both nodes. Disk group, FRA disk group. Scan listener is running from both nodes. Management listener is running from the first node. ASM is running from both nodes. ASM net is also running. CVU cluster verification utility is running from the master node, which is Jack. Database is running from both the nodes in 19C. VIP management database from the master node, and then scan VIP. So my cluster is running fine, and I already showed you that the database and cluster everything is running in 19C version. So This ends our session with regarding to upgrading your database from 12C to 19C in silent method. I hope you have liked the session. Please do like, subscribe and share. Thanks a lot for watching.